Hey guys, my name's Crystal Kenny, and I'm in love with creating. All things artistic and imagination involved. I'm an American girl who chased her creative dreams all the way to Paris, France, making a living using photography. This podcast takes you inside the stories of all the artsy folks I've met along the way and gives you that extra push to discover your creative gifts. The desire to create is deeply inside each and every one of us, and I give you the tools and inspiration to find a new way of living a more creative life. This is La Vie Creative, the podcast. Today on the podcast, I interview Maureen O'Donoghue. She's a 24-year-old Franco-Irish singer and musician. She was born into a musical family with an Irish father and a French mother. We chat about how her music has adapted during the pandemic and how she's reconnected to her Irish roots. So welcome to the show, Maureen. How are you?
Hi, Crystal. I'm great, thanks.
It's great to finally chat with you. I know we've been playing this for quite some time now, and I just find your story very fascinating, and I'm excited to share it with everybody listening.
Great. Well, I'm happy to talk about it today.
And you were actually born in Paris to a French mother and an Irish father. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. My parents met in Ireland, in fact, when my mom and her two sisters went to Ireland on a holiday. And the three of them ended up meeting Irish men. And
all three of them?
Yes.
Wow.
It's a bit like a fairy tale, but a Franco-Irish fairy tale.
And, that is so funny. I love that. And then, so you were born in Paris, but both everyone in your family, it sounds like they're kind of artistic, musical. So you grew up in kind of a musical family.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I think mostly on my mother's side, there's always been a lot of music going on. My granny was a piano teacher and jazz player. And my mom and her sisters love music, and they've always tried different instruments, played the guitar, the fiddle, the concertina, and a lot of that. So there's always been a lot of music around me since I was a kid.
Wow. So I guess they're supportive of your endeavors now because you're doing a little bit of everything you do. You've been in bands, you're acting, videos. I mean, are they supportive of you like chasing after all these artistic endeavors?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm pretty lucky, to be honest. They've always been very, very supportive in all my artistic doings and very proud of me. So I know sometimes parents can get a bit scared or frightened if their child starts, getting interested in art, and they can get scared, like, where is she going to end up? Who's she going to make a living for herself? But they've always been really understanding and supportive, and always believed in me, which is something that's very precious, especially when you're growing up. So yeah.
Very
huge
lucky
shout out for them,
to your parents. Yeah, because a lot of my guests, when they start pursuing creative things or tell their parents they want to do something creative, they're like, oh no.
Just get a normal job.
Become a doctor, a dentist, something safe. But it sounds like it was the opposite with your family.
Yeah, well, most of my family they've become teachers, so they know the importance of transmitting things, especially traditions and cultural things. That it's and a lot of, like my auntie's become nearly professional musician as well. So
Wow.
they know how important art can be in your life, and that it's important to give it space and enough attention if you're able to do it. It's that you should definitely pursue your path.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. And like, it's nice when you're in like that little nest of creativity and the family already supports you.
It definitely helps. Yeah.
A lot of my guests moved to Paris, but you were born in Paris. So share a little bit about your like Paris story as like an upbringing here. Were you always interested in the arts? How did you get involved in music?
So, as I said, it was always a very family thing. So playing music would have always been confined to family gatherings and family circles in Paris. it wouldn't have been really related to the Paris, music life or night
Yeah.
life at all until I became a teenager. And there I started playing with some of my friends. So it radically changed genres because I was used to playing folk songs and stuff with my family. And suddenly I got dropped into this rock and grunge or garage band type of universe,
Yeah.
which was really exciting for me at the time, like 15 and like, going out with some friends and going to see bands playing in a garage and stuff. So that
Yeah.
was brilliant. And also, well, basically like any teenager discovering what other artists do, going to concerts in real life, different type of music. And of course in Paris it's great because you have this a cultural offer that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
You can go out and every night and see something completely different. And that's really it's really fantastic, and it's really helped me also broaden uh, my musical horizon. And you always meet new people that do something you've never heard of before.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. Um,
Yeah. Can definitely inspire you to change your work, to change what you're doing, collaborations.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because when I was a kid, I was quite shy and wild, and I hated. I'm an only child as well, so I wasn't never really used to having brothers and sisters and socializing too much with people my age. And that being in the band helped me a lot, kind of get out of my shell. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I've been pretty it's been pretty easy to socialize since then. Um, and I've also learned that when you're open and you're curious about other people, they're absolutely delighted to tell you more about what they do. And that's how you can end up, they say, oh, you're interested, why don't you come over and for a jam, or um would you like to try and sing on this techno
Yeah.
track that I've done? And it just really open doors to you. So
Yeah, yeah,
um,
exactly. It opens doors. And I think, like you said, like people love when you're actually interested in what they're creating and when you like actually listen to them, I think.
of course, yeah, because there's a lot. I found there's a lot of people maybe who are um, very focused on what they do and their own little universe, that sometimes they they can be a bit aloof to other
Mhm.
different types of music, or different types of art, or different genres. And it's always a pity because there's always something new to learn from other ways and other
Yeah,
styles, even if you don't end up, doing your life,
yeah,
putting your life for it. But it's always interesting.
yeah, to cross mediums and cross ideas.
Hmm.
And recently, you've kind of reconnected to your Irish roots and you've been playing a lot more Irish music. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's it's funny because this happened a few months before the COVID crisis and before everything got stopped. And for me, it was really in mid-air because I had I went back to Ireland for just to Belfast actually for holidays, as we do every year. And that
Mhm.
was 2019. And for the first time, I went out on my own to meet people my age and stuff, because when I'm in Ireland, I'm usually with my family. And
Yeah,
and it was funny because it was a bit like when I was a teenager of 15 and going out with my friends in Paris. It was the same thing sort of happened in Belfast. And well, of course I went to sessions, and so it was a whole kind of rebirth of traditional music, seeing people your age playing and having fun and being interested in what you can bring to the session. And I just loved it, and it really motivated me to first of all take my fiddle and play again, because I had stopped for 10 years. And it was really an eye opener.
yeah,
Um, and basically I started learning more songs, learning new tunes and new songs, which I'd stopped doing basically for the last few years. And it was pretty great until, of course, COVID happened. And that was very, very how could I say, frustrating,
Yeah.
because suddenly a new world was opening,
Yeah.
uh, and I felt I was just on the threshold of discovering new things and meeting new people, and just the door closed
Yeah.
very suddenly. And but of course now, you always find ways around, and now, well, I hope it's not going to get worse again, but I do feel that in the last 2 years, I've met an amazing amount of people, and it's been great to connect again with these roots that I had paused for. It really feels that I had paused them for some
Uh-huh.
reason. It feels a bit like une parenthèse, you say in French, like brackets.
Yeah.
My kind of rock life. For some
Yeah.
reason, it felt, when I came back to Irish folk music, it felt as if I was going back home.
Yeah.
Um, uh, it's kind of funny. It just, as though I found a place where I could completely be myself. And musically, I think it was like coming home and meeting
Hmm.
myself again. So
Oh, I
uh,
love that, coming home.
yeah, it was very, very. I felt very happy and excited. Uh, and my parents thought I was getting obsessed, but there's always a moment where it's the excitement, the artistic excitement, that just grabs you, and you feel like doing that all day.
Yeah,
And
that's so true when you get wrapped up in it.
exactly, my friends were saying, "Oh, she's getting radicalized."
All the French friends were like, "Oh,
Yes.
what's going on with her?"
They thought I was going mad, but I think they saw that there was some sort of awakening in me,
Yeah,
and they respected that, which is great. They weren't, some of them made fun of me a bit, because I was, sometimes I can get a bit ridiculous when I just get over the top, and I was talking about Irish music and the new band and stuff, and they had no idea what I was talking about. So it's kind of funny, but
yeah,
very
but like
exciting
you said,
times.
you're coming home. You feel at home, and when you play the fiddle or when you sing an Irish song, like how do you feel on the inside? Do you feel happier? Do you feel more alive? Like, talk a
Yeah,
little bit about that.
I feel happier, and I just feel as if what I'm singing is me. What
Yeah,
I just feel as if I'm not putting on a show. I'm not trying to um, sound like something. I'm just singing, and I'm just letting my voice out. And
yeah,
of course, I'm working on the technique, on what I want to, the notes I want to make, and everything, and what I'm trying to express as what the song says and everything. But I'm just also letting go,
yeah,
and it feels very natural, which is great also, because for some reason, um, I know, doing the rock stuff, it was just, it wasn't me really,
mhm,
and
mhm.
I was enjoying it. I loved the songs, and it was great, but it just felt as if more an acting thing
Yeah.
than just being myself. And
Yeah, you feel at home and you feel like very much like centered when you're
yeah, exactly, like this is who I am. This is what I sing.
meant to do,
um
yeah, and it's very natural.
mhm.
And you're recently working on producing an upcoming documentary about an Irish composer. That's so exciting. Tell us a
Yes.
little bit
Oh,
about
yes. This has been a very, very exciting project. And it's I was gonna say, it fell on me like that,
that. Yeah,
a bit like a unpredicted storm. But it was and so there's an Irish channel called TG Gahar, so it's the TG4 Gaelic channel, um, and they are going to broadcast this documentary on December 26th, on St. Stephen's Day. Um, And this documentary deals with this Irish composer called Sean O Riada, and he's a legend, a cultural figure, very important cultural figure in Ireland,
Yeah.
because he, um, in fact, he's from the, of course, 20th century, sorry, and
Yeah.
he has composed a lot of very, very important tunes, and he's the one who started the band The Chieftains,
Hmm.
which is very, very famous now. And he spent a bit of time in Paris. So when he was younger and in Paris, something happened that when he went back to Ireland, he started getting more interested in his own roots, like traditional Irish music, whereas before that he was very much into the um, uh, I was going to say new age, but new wave of
New wave.
music, very contemporary classical music. Um, so his time in Paris was important. It's like a turning point, if you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and that's why the crew, the production company of the documentary wanted to come to Paris and film for a few days and try and find where he'd gone, how he'd been able to record stuff for material for the French radio at the time
Hmm.
in the
Hmm.
1950s.
Wow.
So I was asked to do some research about this, which was absolutely really exciting for me. An Irish composer in Paris.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was very interesting, and there was also all the work involved in getting permits, filming permits, going around Paris trying to find nice places to film, getting the authorizations, getting the transport organized, all these. It was,
Big
producing, how do you say, um, what was my role?
managing production and
Yes,
production.
exactly. Yeah. So that was very exciting. It was the first time I was doing that sort of job, even though my studies, you know, involved some of the skills that I needed to do
Yeah.
that. But it was great because they they were I mean, they give me how would you sorry they trusted me in the job for the job,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they gave me a chance, and it worked up really well.
When
um
will it come out? When can people watch it?
um so normally you can watch it live when it's going to air for the first time on the 26th of December
Oh,
through
great.
the website of TG Cahir. So
Okay.
it's TG4,
Uh-huh.
and they have a player. You can download the app, but you can also go on the website and watch uh, the show live,
Very
and then
cool.
you can watch it on replay after if you miss it.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be checking that out. We'll add that to the show notes too, so people can click on it.
Okay.
Really exciting. I love that. You're just like doing all these things that are overlapping different mediums, changing genres of music. Like it's constantly things are switching up.
Yeah, I think it's very important to, especially I've had a bit of time there because I've just finished my degree, so I haven't been, been just
Trap.
flocked into one job and that's it.
Yeah,
I've been able to have a bit of time and try different things, different jobs and different
yeah.
activities, which is great because it always adds up and you always learn things that you can apply um, for other things. So it's great. Um,
Yeah, I think a lot of people that I've interviewed and a lot of people that listen to the podcast, they often feel like they can only choose one thing or one craft, one art, or otherwise they seem a little flaky or crazy or scattered. But I think it's the complete opposite. I think switching gears and trying different things is so important in life.
Yeah. Really, it's funny because it's something that's quite important to something that you would think like, oh, exactly. I'm kind of scattering myself if I try different instruments for
Yeah.
example, um, and in some ways it's true. You have to. you have to focus on, if you want to learn an instrument, you have to focus on it, and you can't just start learning 5 instruments at the same time, because you're never going to get anywhere in any of them. But if you're focused enough to, and organized enough as well, to be able to allow time for each of them, I don't see why. It can only bring you skill and pleasure and broaden your mind. So I think it's definitely some that people should be encouraged to try different things.
Yeah, I think that we don't do enough of that. We get stuck in our day job, we get stuck in our routines, and
exactly. I mean, there's always something to learn, and it's the diversity of your experience that makes up your artistic baggage, and that will definitely enrich and nurture your own creativity when you want to make something of your own, or when you start a new project.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. And what's one thing you would go back and tell your younger artist self? I mean, you're still very young, you're 24, but like when you were first starting out, like, were you insecure about your work, or what's something you would go back and tell yourself?
I think I would, I've never been really completely insecure. There's been times where I've been like, who am I kidding? I'm not doing anything original. I'm not very talented. I'm very banal. There's always moments where you kind of don't believe in yourself anymore. And for that you need a bit of a coup de fouet, just to kind of, and I think for that the best thing is sometimes to go and see, I don't know, a live performance or something to give you absorb, the kind of creativity of others, to kind of give yourself a boost. So come on, you have to force yourself to get to work sometimes. And for I think if I could go back in time, maybe I would not have dropped the fiddle so easily. When I was 12, I started fiddle when I was 11. Or my auntie gave it to me as a Christmas present, and I was really excited, and I started playing and things. And then I just dropped it because I didn't have anyone to play with. I was like, 13. I couldn't go to sessions or anything, but I didn't have anyone my age to play with, and it just dropped it, and that was a bit of a pity. I should have stuck to it. I should have continued lessons and things like that. So I think that's one of my big regrets, because you always learn better at that age than when you try to go back to 24. Even if you spend hours per day playing, you learn faster when you're younger. So I think it's not my parents' fault. I'm not trying to blame it on them, but I think they should have maybe pushed me a bit more to keep it going.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you have some free-spirited parents.
Yeah, no, they understood, and it's not as if I wasn't doing anything else. Like, I was into karate as well for a long time, and they were very happy that I was doing sport as well.
That's so cool.
I always needed to channel my energy somewhere, So
don't we all? And how would you define creativity?
For me, creativity is something that's very intuitive and individual. It's like a form of expression. I would say it's like another language to describe your inner world, and it's just something that comes out naturally. And for me, creativity, I kind of see it as a sort of key to your own essence, but it's also a key that you can pass on to others so that they can discover it too.
I love that. That's so good. Yeah, you're discovering.
It's just for me, someone that's creative is someone whose essence and imagination and their inside world it spills out somehow, and but they're able to, when they're an artist, or when when they're an artist, they're able to channel this spill of expressivity into something that appeals to other people's senses, through their their technique, their artistic technique, where that it be music or that it be, you know, painting or photography or something like that. It's like your world that you have inside that you're able to invite people to discover.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. I like that. That's the first time someone's explained it like that. I really like that. Like discover, like sharing your essence and helping other people discover their essence.
Yeah, because you also, for me, art is about making a connection between yourself and the others
Hmm.
through a unique and original mix of sensations.
Yeah.
It's about appealing to other people's perceptions and also challenging other people's look on the world.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be, of course, in a political sense, but also in more in a perceptive sense. Sometimes you hear this amazing track or melody. You couldn't say, you know, how it it doesn't hold a message or anything. It's not saying anything. It's just beautiful, and it just touches you in the inside.
Yeah.
So it's creating art is both expressing your own interior world and also giving others a new lens to see or understand and interact with the world around us.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's a really great explanation. I like that. And why do you think creatives are attracted to Paris?
To Paris? Oh,
Yeah.
I think it's all, first of all, I think there's uh, an aura about
Hmm.
Paris. Of course, a historical aura because, you know, it's been the city of light.
Hmm.
It was people have all these. I wouldn't say stereotypes because they're part of Paris history,
Yeah.
but images that are linked to Paris as this, and I think this this imaginative uh, aura
Yeah.
attracts people, but also it attracts people there, and even if it's not real, which I think it is a bit, you know, but it
Yeah.
makes it real for people who come because they have it in their mind that they're in a special place, and that can, I think, boost creativity for sure. Just
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
fact that, or and also people who don't know Paris and want to go, they have this urge to be in this place, and I think once they are there, it's the the happiness of being in the place that they wanted to be in, no
Yeah.
matter, you know, if the reality concords with what their idea was in at first. It's still it's a huge boost, I think. And then
Yeah.
of course Paris is also a great town. um, I think if you blindfolded an artist and took him to Paris and just let him go and say, right, you just discover this place. I'm not telling you where you are. Well, he'd
Yeah, I like
probably
that.
guess pretty fast, but but there's the diversity of people that you get to meet or stumble on is quite fantastic. The
Yeah.
diversity of artistic movements. I mean, there's an audience for literally anything culturally
Yeah.
speaking. Um, uh, you know, the you I enjoy, you know, in Paris, it's a great place to challenge your personal taste and your
Hmm.
artistic habits. Uh,
Yeah.
as we were saying earlier on, like I enjoy being kidnapped for one night and experience a world that I know absolutely nothing about.
Yeah.
And it can really happen in a blink of an eye in Paris. It all
Yeah.
depends on the people you meet and also the openness you can have towards them. But
Mhm.
it's quite an amazing place, to be honest. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to boast about my hometown, but I have to say it is. Of course, it's smelly and noisy, and
Yeah.
maybe not the nicest people around and stuff. But it is still, in culturally speaking, it's an amazing place.
Yeah, I think it's a real melting pot of internationals and locals and all different creative ideas. And I
Oh
like what
yeah,
you said about it's almost like a placebo effect. Like things are supposed to happen, so they do, and
yeah,
that's like
and
part of
it
the
gives
journey.
you confidence that things will happen, so you're more open to the opportunity when it comes. If you see something happening, you'll be more prone to react than if you were anywhere else, you know.
I think that's really true. I never thought about it like that, but it's true. It's kind of like when you're planning a vacation, and then that's part of the trip, really, you know, like all the buildup of going on your vacation. That's like a big part of the enjoyment. And maybe it's the same with Paris.
Yeah, the mindset of that you're in when you're here. Maybe it's a bit different when you've grown up here. Like, I have to say, I'm not like, every time I go out, I'm not like, oh, I'm in Paris. I'm going to meet such amazing artists or something. I just go out and, you know, buy my bread and go home. But I find there's a different atmosphere when there's my personal life, my habit life. I mean, it's just like go and get some shopping or whatever, you know, going to school or that's very separate to. I feel that the place changes depending on where I'm going and what I'm going to do in Paris. So I think it's mostly in your head. That's why I was saying it's in your head. It's also I feel excited when I'm going out at night for a concert or something. I feel excited going out. I'm like, oh, I'm in Paris, I'm going out, that's great. When I'm just going to buy a baguette, I'm just like, oh, I'm going to
I live in no big deal. It's about the activity, of course, and there's more activities to do here. And what would you tell people who are kind of searching for their creative talents, or they feel like they're not very talented, they're feeling bored, you know, what would you tell them when they say, okay, I'm not good at anything, or I don't know what I'm good at?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I would say, you know, be curious. I think curiosity is really, really important for creativity, because if you're not curious, you're not going to learn anything. And it's a really important aspect. And I mean, you can train your curiosity. Some people say, oh, but I'm just not curious, and people just get stuck in what they think they are. But you know, you're a human being. You can evolve, and you shouldn't say, oh, I can't sing, and that's it. You know, no, you can. Everything can change. And so when you're curious, it means that you accept that everything can change, including yourself and your own abilities. So there's, I think also you need to be aware that it takes time, and it takes deep concentration and focus and practice. People think, you know, it's like suddenly there's this hour of like amazing grace or something that touches you and you create, but it takes work, it takes practice, and you have to leave yourself time for things to sink in. You have to force yourself sometimes to spit things out, even if it's really, really bad. You can always work on it after it, because hardly anything perfect comes out in one go. Sometimes you need to spit out things. It's going to be ugly, it's going to be stupid, but once it's out, then you can play with it and you can change it. But if you don't spit it out first, nothing's going to happen, that's for sure. And that's something I really learned the first time when I was starting my rock and roll band, and I was 15. My friend told me, because we were starting off by doing, you know, cover songs and Hotel California and stuff like that. But then he says, okay, no, Maureen, now you have to write some songs. So you can speak English, so you can write the songs. And I was like, oh, what? I don't know how to write a song. What the hell? What am I going to say? I don't have anything to say. I have no imagination at all. Because I've always sang folk songs and traditional things, and I've never written my own material. So I was really, really, really impressed by that, and panicked. Completely panicked. But so first, I waited until it was night, and I was in my room at candlelight and everything. Look up the stars at the stars, trying to get inspiration, and of course nothing comes except it's a nice night. There's nice lights yes, it rhymes, great. But of course, it's banal. It's not very interesting. But you have to start somewhere, and
Yeah.
I I got better at it, and because you have to remodel stuff that you've come up with first that wasn't great, but then you learn, and the more you write, then the easier it gets. So you just have to accept that you're not very good first, but that you can get better.
I love that.
That's
Yeah,
what I would
that's so
say.
true. I think so many people want things to be perfect from the beginning, and they say, okay, I can't do this until all the lights are green and I got to do this, this, and this. It's like, no, just jump in. Like that's what most
Yeah,
people
yeah,
do that are
yeah. And
successful.
exactly. Accept that it's
Yeah.
not great, and but you need to have, the only effort you have to put is to to work. In fact, to rework what you've done, and not be happy with your first spit, if you excuse my my
Yeah.
expression. But
No, that's so true. Just jump in and don't be a perfectionist. Perfectionism kills creativity.
yeah.
And there's no such thing as perfect anyway. So why bother? Well, I think that's great advice. And where can listeners connect with you online, follow what you're doing?
Um.
Get
So I have a right now I have a folk duo, a folk band called Saelkie Folk, and we have a YouTube channel and Facebook and Instagram pages where there's plenty of videos and music, photos and stuff. So that's my main thing at the moment. So you can find a lot of things there. They can also, I don't have a personal blog or website yet. Maybe that'll
Mhm.
come soon.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I have my Facebook page where I post a lot of the different things that have been happening in my life, where it be the Silène Folk band, but also some more, different projects as well. There's a lot of things on that. So I would say,
We can
yeah, the
we can
Facebook
share
page.
that in the show notes
Yeah,
and also that documentary. That'll be great. And we're gonna
yes,
end the
definitely.
show by playing one of your beautiful songs. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Chrisette. It was a pleasure speaking to you.
I'll fill your cup.
Thanks so much for tuning in to La Vie Creative. You can find more information on MissParisPhoto.com. And if you enjoyed this show, please feel free to share and spread the word for all my creative guests. We have the power to help them to keep doing what they love. See you next time.